Hi everyone, welcome to the next short attention span webinar. Kelly, this one is for you.
Thanks, Bill.
Why? Because you know what? This is all your favorite words. I mean, you love marketing.
I do.
Right? And you sold digital and variable data printing.
I did.
So I'm doing nothing in this. I'm going to hit the button and you're going to talk. Ready? Go.
Fantastic. I've been waiting so long for this.
This is the unfriendly takeover. Well, let's talk about how to market digital and variable data printing, because companies are doing this the wrong way, and they've been doing it the wrong way for a long, long, long time. And I started selling digital in 1990, 1991. Back when it was on-demand printing, and there was one device, and it was black and white, and that was it. And this is exactly how people used to do it, Kelly. They'd have signs in the window that said, "We've got digital." I mean, what does that mean?
Yeah, well, back then it was it was really more of a buzzword, and it did have some significance, and it was special because I got started in the mid '90s, and now it just smacks of Me Too too much. That word has kind of lost its meaning, or it's an assumed thing at this point. It's kind of believed that of course you've got digital, so it's really not the right approach. You're kind of lumping yourself in with with the Office Maxes and anybody that claims to have a piece of equipment, kind of like what you say here is copies as low as. I mean, that's the surefire way to erode any profit you possibly could have in this environment is to focus on the price of it.
But that second bullet point, Kelly, I didn't make that up. That's exactly, Xerox made banners. And it said, if you can put it on disk, we can print from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I was stunned at that. And you know what people got was, they got disks where, this back when floppies, 3.5-inch disks, resumes. People were putting their resumes on disk and bringing in files that were created. They put their resume on Excel, and they hand it in and say, here, I need 50 copies of this on pink paper or something.
Right.
But that's the wrong way. So if that's the wrong way, what's the right way? Kelly, why an emphasis on digital superiority? What does that mean, and why is it important?
Well, I mean, it's a great story to tell that you're staying on top of the latest technology and that you're very well versed in the graphic applications. So you're differentiating yourself from the Office Maxes and the places like that out there by saying, we know our stuff. We are experts. And by virtue of being experts, that means you can put yourself in more of a role of being a consultant or a resource. So you want to, the customers want to have the security of knowing that you know what you're doing. So that the whole notion of we know your software, like an InDesign file isn't going to throw us. We know it. We know it inside and out. And so, again, it builds confidence in people and inspires trust in them to know that you know what you're talking about. And another key point there, and because we were just talking about this before we started recording, how do you know when you're doing it right? There's a couple of things present here. It's those stories, again, the kind of anecdotal case studies that you should be able to just kind of rattle off the top of your head. And this is what I tell my customers all the time, is think about who you're going after as customers and be able to say, I worked with somebody very similar to you that had a similar problem. This was the solution that we provided, and here were the results. And to be able to have stories like that across a number of different vertical markets is a great way to build confidence, again. And also just the word of mouth of knowing, getting a phone call saying, hey, so-and-so told me to call you, and they said you could help us with this project that we're working on. That's a great position to be in, to be receiving these kind of referrals because everybody knows that you're the expert in the field.
And that actually has happened to me years ago, and I did an interview with a company in Waltham, Massachusetts, long gone now, but a company that the woman that we were interviewing, her name was Debbie Riccio, and after the interview, she was telling us this, that we are the experts in the software. We don't emphasize the equipment. We emphasize the software knowledge that we've got, because that's really the kind of customer that we want. If they know your hardware, that's great, but they're going to call up and say, what's your price? You've got digital, great, what's your price? But if they find out that you are masters in the software, those are the people you want to get to, because they're going to bring in files, they're going to send over information that they want to have work the first time. So we get off the phone, and my partner and I are walking out to our car, and she came running up behind us, and she said, she showed us 3 messages. She said, these are 3 people. All 3 have found me because of references from their friends who are using the same software. So absolutely perfect. And I wanted to show you this. This was hopefully you can make this bigger so you can see this, but this is a printer in Norwell, Massachusetts, and his name is Erwin Abrams. And this is what he used to do. Now, this is dated, but it's exactly what you want to do when you're talking about selling digital and promoting digital and variable. He sends out these postcards. Now, it doesn't say that he's got specific equipment. There's no brand name on there. All he's saying is, if you're using Publisher, you want to talk to us because we get it. And this was so simple. He was a little tiny printer, and I called him up and I said, my God, you're a genius. And he said, okay. Couldn't quite figure it out. But I remember when I first talked to Erwin, he told me that he was getting, oh gosh, what was it? It's six to 8 new customers a month based on these postcards. But Kelly, no surprise to you, right? I mean, that's having sold digital and variable.
It does seem you're right. It does seem dated. I mean, and we're not showing this piece because we think it's fantastic design or anything like that. The point is, he found a niche that was an underserved community, which was admins and people that were, a little behind the times, maybe using publisher files. And he said, "Hey, we are your experts. We are here to help you." And they embraced him for that. And so he differentiated himself, and he found an underserved market, and that is what all of us should be trying to find today, is some place that we can shine, an area that has a need for what our specialty is, and so yeah, you're right. He was brilliant to do that at the time.
So the message then in marketing digital and variable is not the equipment, it's not the capabilities, it's the technical superiority. And I've said this for years, before you go and sign on a dotted line, make certain that you are technically superior to your competition. Because I really believe that that's where the money is. That's the differentiator that Kelly is talking about. We have another webinar coming up which is going to be on the things you should do before you go digital, and we'll talk more about it on that. Kelly, thanks very much. I know there's lots more you'd like to say about this. It's got your 3 favorite words in it, marketing, digital, and VDP. But I'm going to pull the reins in, and we will save it for another short attention span webinar. Thanks, Kelly.
Okay. Thanks, Bill.